Hey guys, back again with another video. Still in my same ears and my Elastigirl t-shirt because I love them. Also because I have some time today to really get through some of this stuff, and I don't want to leave you hanging. Um, as you may know, my family just got back from Walt Disney World. We took a vacation to celebrate my kiddo's 5th birthday. And we took an extended family vacation, which means all of my in-laws came along. So altogether, we had 3 kids under the age of 10, 4 adults, and 2 grandparents. So it was a big party with varying interests. My mother and father-in-law, who are in their 70s, hadn't been on a vacation since their honeymoon, so quite a long time. And we convinced them to go to Walt Disney World, and they loved it. I was really surprised because my father-in-law is a little bit of a grump. We love him very much. He's a sweet guy, but he seems to not ever really like too many things. And from start to finish, he loved everything except the heat. Um, but we were really lucky in that we got rainstorms every afternoon, and afterwards it cooled off pretty significantly. July is a tough time to go to Disney World. It is pretty hot. But he loved the food. He loved the rides. He loved the service. He loved the resort. He loved everything, which I was shocked about because usually he can find a reason to not like something. Um, and my brother and sister-in-law and their 2 kids had been to Disney before, but had never stayed on site. Had kind of popped in for a quick day here and there. So we stayed for a long time on site, and it was really great to have everybody together. So this video is some tips that I learned from traveling with my extended family when we're talking about multi-generational trips. Um, so for me, I mean, obviously, I'm a Disney insider. I know a lot of hacks and all of that stuff. Um, but I still learned some new things while I was on this trip about how to handle a big group. Um, I think what's really important for us in leading up to our trip was, communicating together about what everybody wanted to do and see, some things that were important to us. Because we were traveling with a big group of various ages, one thing we decided was really important was to add on the Tomorrowland Terrace dessert party. You'll see another video where I review that and why it was really worth it for a group like this to have that dessert party experience. Another thing that was really important is kind of understanding what everybody's ride preferences were. I handled all the fast passes before the trip, and we decided to use our fast passes for rides that everybody could enjoy together. Um, but also kind of understanding too that not every day everybody was going to do every activity together. Um, we usually ate at least one meal together every day. Typically that was lunch. And then on the day that we were at Animal Kingdom, we also had a dinner scheduled. We did the buffet at Tusker House, and we celebrated my son's birthday party there. But it was a really great trip for us. Some other things I learned in scheduling my fast passes is that as a family of 3, which is how we usually travel, we can kind of traverse the park pretty quickly. My son is still small enough to go in a stroller, so we just dash over to another area from Adventureland to Tomorrowland to Fantasyland. That did not work as well with a big group of 9, especially with the grandparents. So the Magic Kingdom day was a little bit tough on everybody in terms of walking, especially because that was the only day we didn't really get any rain, and so it was very hot that day. So in hindsight, even though it seemed like those fast passes were spread out timing-wise, they were also a little bit spread out in terms of where we were in the park, and then having to get back to Fantasyland for our lunch reservation at Be Our Guest. So thinking about that, I probably would do that a little bit differently and caution you guys to remember the age of everybody. I know it's easy to throw those little ones in a stroller and jet off across the park, but think about those grandparents. It can be a lot for them, even though both grandparents are pretty spry. It was a little tough on them to traverse that park that day. But that was kind of the only downside that we ended up having. There was, a little bit of waiting around here and there the other days in our parks because we did get those rainstorms. You're seeing my kiddos head pop in. So I did feel like we missed out on a few things we didn't miss any fast passes or anything like that, but like some shows and things like that we would have wanted to do the other days because we did kind of have to hunker down for about an hour and a half with the rain. This was not just like sprinkling because we had our ponchos ready, we had our umbrellas ready, which is also another key tip. It is Central Florida. You are going to get rain. Make sure you have those ponchos and umbrellas. I mean, this was like some lightning. This was some like sideways pouring rain. We were very lucky that those happened while we were sitting down for lunch. So we got to kind of just hang out there for a little while. But I don't want to say dampen, no pun intended, but it did dampen some of it because we missed a few things that we could have done, like those shows and things like that you kind of like fill in between your fast passes. And you know, our day in Animal Kingdom, we love to do the Wilderness Explorers. When it was raining, especially like that, a lot of those stands or like stops closed down. So we didn't get to finish that. We started it that day, and we were really enjoying it. But that's okay. With the rain comes cooler temperatures and shorter lines, and you just kind of power through, and you get the right shoes so you don't care your feet are wet, and you wear that poncho, and you just do it. One fun thing is my sister-in-law and my niece went on Kali River Rapids because they figured, how much wetter can we get? So that was pretty cool. But all in all, it was, it was really a great time. I think another thing that was really important for us to make sure we scheduled in or were mindful of was that we had some resort time every day to just hang out at the pool, to swim with the kids, to relax. That downtime is really important. And it's one of the perks of staying on site is that you can get back to your resort pretty quickly to do that, and then you go back in the evening for some more rides or one of the shows. But I think especially with the kiddos, speaking of which, with the kiddos, it's hard to push them through, especially when they're young. And depending on how your park style is, my husband and I, we get up early. We are there for rope drops, My brother and sister-in-law, their kids get up a little bit later. So they still made it to the park pretty early every day, but not for rope drop. And then my mother and father-in-law usually joined us sometime between 10 and 11. And that was fine. Everybody got to the park when it made sense for them. Everybody had the relaxing time when they needed it. Some of us went back in the evening, some of us didn't. But we had some really key moments every day where we all got to have a meal together. We got to ride some rides together and see a show, and it was really nice. And so I think that that's what's most important about traveling with a large family is that you don't have to do everything together because it's too stressful. The other tip I will give you is for some reason, it's really hard to move 9 people from one attraction to the next without losing someone. Inevitably, whoever was the leader would move 5 feet and then turn around and half the party was gone. So when it's just you and your, nuclear family, for us that's the 3 of us, we stick together and we're able to move and get places pretty fast. Average in it taking twice as long with a party of 9 because somebody's always going to stop it for popcorn or need to go to the bathroom or something or just get distracted, especially if it's their first visit. So you have to take those things in stride. I can definitely give you guys some more tips of things that we really enjoyed, the best use of our dining and fast passes, what we thought were great rides that for multi-generational groups. And yeah, I'd look forward to your questions. I'd love to share with you some firsthand knowledge that I was able to get from this trip. And that's all I have for now. So I will see you real soon. Have a great day.